Morning, hi, Mr. Giles, and today I'm going to show you how to use layers and how that works. And I'm going to use Drippy Shrek as an example. So in Paint.net, you have these different tools, and I'm just going to show you real quick to turn your toolbar on and off. There's the toolbar right there. You can grab it up at the top. You can grab the color menu. That's how you change your colors. And then your layer menu, that's the thing we're going to focus on today, which is right here. And if that ever disappears, that's how you turn it back on. You can grab a corner by putting the tip of the arrow right in a corner, and you can open up. I like to drag it down a little bit so I can see more. Now, layers work like this. You start with, and here's how you start. You start with a generic layer called background. You can name your layers by double clicking and then changing the name. This is a layer. And I spelled it wrong. That's fine. I can double click again and I can rename it and try to type it correctly. Then I can add layers by clicking the add new layer. There's also a shortcut, which is Control-Shift-N. So if you like using shortcuts, or like I'm right-handed and I have my hand on my mouse, so Control-Shift-N will make a new layer. And I might name this layer Shrek. And then I might find a picture of Shrek on the internet. So let's go here and I'm going to type Shrek. Shrek, double S's? Sure, why not? It knew what I meant. I go to images and I find this picture of Shrek. Now, a really great thing is, you see this checkerboard that you see on the layers? That means that layer is transparent. You can see through it. And then this layer, when I turn it on and off, it's like a piece of paper and you can't see. So I'm going to go and get this picture of Shrek, but I'm going to choose to click on it and then copy this one. And I don't know if you noticed, I'm going to do this again. When I click on the picture, for 1 second, you can see the white in the background, then it disappears to this checkerboard. That means that is a true transparent PNG. So if I copy this, right click, copy image, and I come back to Paint. By the way, Alt Tab will switch between your two active tabs, okay? Alt Tab gets me to Shrek. I'm on the Shrek layer. I select it. And I'm going to press Control V to paste. Control CTRL. Now, when you paste it, you're going to have this marching dot lines around it, and you have this four-way arrow. And as soon as you click, you can drag it wherever you want. Now, if you grab a corner, you're going to stretch them out, which you may or may not want. Control Z to undo. But if you hold Shift and you drag, it will perfectly resize it so you can see that he's staying the same dimensions that you had earlier. And then I'm going to hit Enter to get rid of the marching ants, or Control D. So now you see that I have my character. And he's on his own layer. Now watch this. I can turn a layer on and off. I can drag piece of paper on top. So now that piece of paper is on top of Shrek, so we can't see him. He's still there. And in fact, if I uncheck the check mark for this layer, you can see that Shrek is right there. Okay, and so we're going to drag that back down behind him. And then we can find other things. Now, there's a couple ways to do this. I'm going to give you this real quick. I'm going to write crown, and I'm going to find a crown that is, let's click on this one here. Okay, so I'm going to right click and copy this image. Now, there's a couple things about this. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to make a new layer, Control Shift N, or you can just click the new layer button right here at the bottom, and you can delete a layer right there. I'm going to name this crown. I'm naming it just so I can identify it. When you have a lot of layers, it's easier to name it. I'm going to press Control V to paste. Now, if the crown was bigger than the screen, I'll talk about that in a minute. Now, it's got a white square around it, which I don't want because that looks like it doesn't really belong on his head. And also, if you put your mouse out over here, you'll see that it turns into these like two arrows and you can tilt it. So I'm going to tilt it so it looks like it would fit on his head. I'm going to shrink it down a little bit so it fits a little better. But I want to get rid of this white area around it. In fact, I'm going to stick it here for a second. There's this tool called the magic wand. I'm going to click on the magic wand. I'm going to make sure I'm on the crown layer. Let's make sure that's the right layer. And I'm going to click on the white. And when I clicked on the white, what it does is the magic wand selects everything that's touching, all the pixels that are touching. And you can change how strong that is. But I'm going to click delete, and boom, I have most of it done. I'm going to zoom in a little with the magnifying glass at the bottom here. And you can see the white right here. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to click right there. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to try to click on that. And now, do you see the dotted lines around it? I'm going to get the eraser tool And I'm going to make my eraser tool a little bit bigger by selecting the brush size. And I'm going to erase those dots because that doesn't look cool at all. I want to make it look a lot better. So I've erased, and there we go. Now we've got our crown that we can move. And I think you should be able to move it. Now I select the blue arrow and I move this up on top of his head. Bam, done. And there's the announcements. All right, have a great day. I hope that makes layers a little easier to understand. If you have questions, post them in the comments and I will try my best to answer. Have a great day.